So today we had some huge news on the JD versus the nameless person trial front. One of them, the date change, we're going to have a movement on that. Another thing that's going to impact the judge on this case. And yet another, we know exactly how all of this case is going to lay out. Everything that's already happened on the schedule, everything that's supposed to come up. So definitely make sure you tune into the entirety of this video to catch all of those updates. Like I said, there's multiple things. So the first thing that we're talking about here is a trial date change. And man, I find this to be sad news in a lot of ways. I understand why it comes up. It can be good news too, because you could see JD actually getting jobs in this, but I was going to go to this trial. The trial was supposed to take place May 17th, 2021. That's 2 days after my birthday. I had already set up vacation with work and everything. So yeah, I'm a little bit bummed to find out that now we're talking about a movement almost a year later. Right now, and again, this date, it could change at any time, but the date that's been set up right now is April the 11th, 2022. Again, we have a delay of almost a year. Now that could actually turn into something good. You've seen those people that are surrounding that nameless person. Those people, they keep tweeting themselves into a hole. In fact, just today, and I'm going to talk about this in its own video tomorrow, but just today, we had one of that close-knit circle to that certain nameless party saying, get this, waiting for verification and evidence before you jump to conclusions. Why? Because apparently they've been watching YouTubers and they don't like what we have to say. I thought that was amazing, and yeah, you'll need to tune into that tomorrow. Like I said, these people, they can't stop themselves from digging that hole deeper. Now, we also know about the hearing link. It's been scheduled for 16 days right now, which is really fascinating considering the existing date, again, May 17th, 2021, it came with a hearing link that was allotted for 21 days. Now it can go over, but this is the anticipated link for the hearing. And when you look at everything that's going to come up in that, again, I have a schedule of everything that's supposed to come up. Yeah, I don't see it all coming up in 16 days. Now, as far as this change is concerned, there is something huge that comes up in it all. And the real Laura B, that's at LauraBockov. You can see the at here, but definitely check her out too. I mean, if you don't have a Twitter account, definitely follow her. She pulls up all of this documentation. Much of this documentation is not free, by the way. She pays for it on her own dime because she wants people to be aware, but she points out something that, again, it could have huge ramifications. As a reminder, she notes Judge White will be retiring July 1st, 2021. So the judge that is on this case, he will be retiring. So we're going to get a new judge taking over, and basically we're not going to have a discovery referee attached to this too. Now currently we have no idea what the removal of Judge White will actually entail. Maybe we'll get a better judge, who knows, but I think that the judge has actually done a pretty fair job. I mean, I've disagreed with certain things, mind you. Him removing Adam Waldman, for example, the way that he interpreted certain things that came up from that nameless party and, being able to countersue. But at the same time, this guy, he's allowed the discussion of CHLA. That, it didn't come up in the UK. A lot of people wouldn't have allowed it to go down that road. But this guy, he's the reason that we know about the defrauding of charities. He's the reason that we know about other things as well. And yeah, him being replaced, like I said, I wonder exactly what that's going to do. Now, this next piece of news, it is huge as well. In fact, I'm going to put it into its own video describing the impact of this, and it deals with the UK appeals process. You'll notice bullet point 3. This thing we're going to work our way to, because I really want you to understand the impact of this. So on 12/7/2020, we had the appeal filing deadline for the Court of Appeals. You know about that appeals, by the way, but it was put in, and NGM, they filed an answer to that on 01/5/2021. Now, they didn't expect that to go anywhere. You could tell by the way that they answered and everything, but you know what? We actually have a hearing coming up on 03/18/2021. You see, hearing for permission to appeal, and admission of new evidence. Now, along the way, you have something fascinating happen. You have a date that comes and goes. You see this, 02/21/2021. NGN, by the way, if you don't know who NGN is, that's News Group newspaper. That's The Sun and Dan Wooten, everything in the UK trial. They had a deadline to file an opposition to the appeal, so they could have tried to strike it down then and there and to add new evidence. Well, it looks like they didn't add anything. Now, this is huge news because when you think about what they filed before, when they filed their answer, they were limited to 3 pages. Essentially, they were limited to skeletal argument. They could have been allowed to go in to oppose the appeal and to try to add new evidence, and they didn't. Either they're really, really cocky about this, which I know that is a possibility, or they're running scared. They don't really know what to do right now because you know what? This stuff, it was never supposed to go forward. A fascinating stuff, isn't it? Now, as far as those huge updates are concerned, they just keep coming. That's right. We have something else. This is tied to California. If you don't know what's going on in California, by the way, this is all tied to Virginia. This is tied to the April 2022 trial. That's hard for me to say, by the way. If I say May 2021 on accident, forgive me. I know what I'm talking about, but it's just hard to get my mind around. But on Wednesday, 02/24/2021, 8:30 a.m. So by the time this video drops, we will already have had that hearing. But we have a hearing on a motion for discovery of peace officer personnel records, also known as a Pitchess motion. Now, if you don't know what this is about, by the way, May 2016, 2 peace officers show up at the penthouse of a nameless party. That nameless party said certain things went down, and these peace officers, they don't buy it. They say, yeah, there's no evidence to say any of that transpired. She's decided that she's going to punish them for saying that. She wants to pull their personnel records. She says it's to discredit them. But really, when they find something they can discredit with, they're going to try to ruin their lives. That's what this move is for. And again, it's not because they did something wrong. It's because the wrong is not walking lockstep. I mean, that is absolutely crazy. Now, this last part has so much information jam-packed into it that I really want you to think about every name you see here. Why? Because all of these names, they're going to be deposed. Again, thanks to the real Laura B for putting all of this together. I can't say that enough. And when you think about deposition, this isn't asking people for information. This is asking them to essentially come up, give oral testimony. They're going to testify about what's gone on. And look at some of these names that are upcoming. I mean, this is magical. You have the ACLU being brought up about 3.5 million little dollar signs they didn't want to answer questions about. You have their representatives. They were tied to the writing of a certain article. That nameless person tried to throw the ACLU under the bus. Yeah, they're going to have one of their people in there. They've been called up to ask exactly what their involvement was. You have the best friend of that nameless person's sister coming in. They're going to sit down. They're going to give you a lengthy statement on it. You also have the Art of Elysium. I'm curious if that's one person, if that's Jennifer Howe, basically speaking for the company, or if you have multiple people tied to that. But you also have I.O. Tillett Wright. I.O. Tillett Wright is the person I was talking about doing a video on. They've been saying you gotta wait for verification. You gotta wait for evidence. They've been deleting their Twitter and on. I mean, that stuff is magical. We have Elon Musk. That's right. Elon Musk is going to have to do that soon. And we also have Adam Waldman come to the stand. Oh, this stuff. I mean, again, drink in all of these names. All of these people are going to be giving evidence. And you know what? Since we have that delay, there's going to be so many more. Like I said, these are huge updates. There's so much jam-packed into this. I'm going to break some of this down into its own videos. But yeah, anyway, let me know what you think about all of this craziness. So much to break down. And I appreciate you folks. You make this channel work. I can't say that enough. thank you. I appreciate you. You want to help the channel out? There are links there. Share this video far and wide too. Feed that algorithm. You know how it goes. Make sure you're subscribed too. And yes, again, thank you. I appreciate you, and we'll see you soon.